Well, hi, I'm John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. I'm very sad to report this past weekend how IFBB Pro Tom Prince has passed away. He was a successful bodybuilder in the late 90s as well as the early 2000s. Tom Prince, 1997 Nationals champion in the NPC. That came after quite a few second placings. Okay, he had placed second at the Nationals. I think it was once, the USA twice. And sometimes controversial. He had a physique. He was a new guy on the scene at the time, around 1995, 96. But by 1997, he was really on top of his game. He took the Nationals and he became a pro. And his competitive career, relatively short, went from 1998 straight through 2003. I'll put some record up there in the scene next to me right here so you can see his competitive career. And the thing about Tom was he was a giant of a bodybuilder, 5'8". He'd walk around the off season 305 pounds. I was a trainer at Gold's Gym in Venice during the height of his career. And I took pictures of him quite often to send back to his coach because back then, of course, we weren't sitting here with, smartphones like they are now. So he would have to send them digital pictures of himself. And we would take them in that famous corner of Gold's Gym. And man, Tom was a fixture at Gold's Gym in Venice. And not only that, he was, I think everybody would agree, he was a great person. He was fun and a great personality when he wasn't dieting. Okay, generally and genuinely a nice guy. I used to give him a ride home after his workouts. We used to work out about the same time every morning, or when I would be there working, I should say, or working out. But I would give him a ride home because he lived in the direction of my house. And at the time, he and his wife, Rebecca, were running with one vehicle. So I would drop him off at his place and we'd have some conversations on the way. And I got a little bit of insight into what the world of professional bodybuilding was like for an IFBB Pro under contract with Weider. And, he didn't make a ton of money as a pro bodybuilder, but he made enough to make a substantial living. And he was smart enough. When I say intelligent, this man was very intelligent. He saved up enough money, he and his wife, to start an apartment management business. And they were just starting it out back then. And I believe it was in the late 90s when he told me about that. Maybe it was 2000, right around there. And they were just starting out. So it was just starting to build. So they had a side business going on. His wife worked that business while he was still a pro bodybuilder. I was there when he got the bad news in 2003, 2004, right in that range. Back then, he found out that his kidneys were failing. And he thought, just like most people thought at the time, that, well, this is a price that you pay for the lifestyle that you lead. And unfortunately, that wasn't 100% the case. So how do I know this? Well, because he knew his career was over. Soon thereafter, it was completely over. He stopped competing in bodybuilding completely, got clean as far as the bodybuilding supplements go, and then of course his body went like this. So he shrank quite a bit. Well, eventually, and I think it was the last time I had spoken to him, he had a kidney replacement. Somebody donated a kidney to him. And it was after having the kidney replaced that he found out that he had the same disease that Flex Wheeler had and a few other bodybuilders along the way, that, FG, whatever it is, glomerulofocal syndrome disease. I'm just guessing right there off the top of my head about the name of it. But it was the one where their immune systems attack their own kidney. And in that case, he had a new replacement kidney put in, and right away his body was attacking it, rejecting it basically. So that's a problem. And he only lasted with that one for a short time, relatively speaking. It was about a year and a half or so before he went back on dialysis. And so he had a, kind of a a rough go of it, you know, from 2004, let's say, all the way up until now, you know, dialysis for most of that time on his kidneys. And of course, they're not going to keep pumping new kidneys into somebody's body that just, you know, eats them up. So from what I hear, there were other health complications, you know, in recent times. I've only heard stories about it, so I'm not even going to mention. But whatever health complications he did have, 52 years old, and you know, it was the end of his life, and he died this last week. And unfortunately, a lot of you all who never got to meet the man would never come to know just how intelligent of a person he was. The man got me to read even more books. He was into Orson Scott Card. He got me to read Ender's Game, the entire series, the Enders series. If any of you know about that, then you know what a fun series of books that was to read. And I had quite a bit, you know, he was about 5 years younger than me. So for somebody at that stage of life, back in the turn of the century, around 2000, when I was driving him home, somebody at that stage, at that age, he was only really 32, right? Yeah, about 32 at that time, 30 maybe at that time in 2000. So for somebody at that age, he was highly intelligent and, you know, had obviously been educated, but also, you know, had wisdom, you know, between his ears. He tried to help a lot of people. So that's the Tom Prince that I knew. Okay, I know that some people out there have different opinions, and that's their opinion. I could go on and on with some of the personal stories that he shared with me, but, you know, honestly, those were between us. There we go. And I'm just here to say, if any of you don't know, a great bodybuilder, he was great. He wasn't just good. He had an amazing physique, okay? Big as a house. And then when he got in shape for a show, he was still big as a house with an amazing shape and amazing muscle density. Wow. And anyway, the bottom line is his health gave out ultimately at a young age of 52. And again, I've done videos on this before, IFBB Bodybuilders. You know, I'm not looking shocked, right? I'm not looking shocked. And it was his belief, by the way, that whatever kidney disease or autoimmune disease he had that was, you know, eating away at his kidneys, whatever it was, he believed that it was brought on a little bit earlier, you know, because of the bodybuilding lifestyle, but that eventually he still would have had to face the same situation. And that part, you know, the disease would still have been there as they gotten older. People who have that challenge. I suppose Flex Wheeler could speak more to that, but that's his business. But that's pretty much it. Tom Prince, born in 1969, lived 52 years, and sad that I won't get to speak to him again. It's been a couple of years since I did, but really cool man. Really, really cool man. So that's it. From my heart to you, John Hart, and I hope to see you soon. Listen, before you leave, off to my left, you can see a disc pop up next to my head. That is the subscribe button for my channel. Please give that thing a tap, won't you? And YouTube will let you know when I have new videos pop up. Down below, off to your left, you're going to see a thumbs up button. That helps me and the channel out quite a bit with the YouTube algorithm. It just alerts it that you're liking the videos and they're popular. So please give that a tap until it turns blue. And I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.